Express World Team Classic. That's the official Nations World Championship of snooker. Well, 6 nations are taking part. There are 3 players in each nation, and those 6 nations are split into 2 groups. Well, today's opening match was a Group 2 match featuring Canada, the runners-up last year, against Wales, defending champions, who've never lost a tie in the 2-year history of the championship. There's what's happened this afternoon, each match over 3 frames. Kirk Stevens beat Ray Reardon 2 frames to 1. Good win for Kirk Stevens. Cliff Thorburn, the 1980 champion, beat Doug Mountjoy, last year's individual World Championship runner-up, by 2 frames to 1. And then Wales got the first victory, Terry Griffiths beating Bill Werbinek 2 frames to 1. And so Canada led Wales 2-1. Well, all 6 players have to play again this evening, and there is the menu. Kirk Stevens, Griffiths, Bill Werbinek versus Doug Mountjoy, and Cliff Thorburn versus Ray Reardon. And of course, the first nation to reach 4 frames has won the tie. Well, let's start with the opening match tonight, the young Canadian Kirk Stevens versus Terry Griffiths. And we'll begin with the first of the 3 frames. Rex Williams and Jack Karnehm are the commentators, and it's Terry Griffiths here breaking off.
Well, a nice chance here for Terry early in the frame.
Wheels, 1. One.
Well, I think Kirk played for the blue there, but he's on a reasonably easy pink.
Seven.
Well, he's fortunate there that the pink won't spot, because it would have been tied up on its own spot, and because it wouldn't spot, it's gone to the highest one available, which is the black spot, which is nicely open. I think there is a red that will go into the corner there, past the pack of reds, to bring the cue ball back onto the blue.
Eight.
And that's just about where he wanted to be. Just a slight angle on the blue.
I think that red there that he took a moment ago, Jack, means
13.
that when he pots this red and goes onto the pink will now go back on its own spot, which may tie it up a little bit. No problem getting
14.
onto another red from this pink, but possibly the pink and black could be a little bit difficult.
Twenty. Canada, 20.
Well, it wasn't a difficult red, but it was one that perhaps disturbed mentally the concentration. Miss it and you're in trouble. He could well be in trouble here if Terry can just get the first red in.
Yes, because of that, Jack, I would suggest it wasn't even worth playing that red, because he wouldn't have been on a colour. And he's given Terry this opportunity by taking that risk, which I think wasn't worthwhile.
Five.
Well, he's got to pot this with plenty of run on the cue ball here. No good staying at the top. And that, of course, made it just a little more difficult. red over the middle pocket makes this a little precarious. He's got to be correct with the positioning of the cue ball. It's got to get well down to the bottom of the table again. And that's put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yes, he played that with a touch of side actually to try and get it onto the side of the table, which would stop Terry getting in that red on the centre pocket, and of course swerved the cue ball and made an entirely wrong contact. And this must be considered a great opportunity here for Terry Griffiths.
One.
Well, choice of the green or brown here. I would think he'll pop the brown and stunt round off 2 cushions. Well, he's decided to play it rather differently.
5.
Couldn't help but get on the red on the centre pocket, but I think he would have been happy to have left that there actually, because it's always a nice easy red should he get in a little bit of trouble.
$11. $12.
Well, Terry's having a look at the 4 very open reds there. Nice soft screw here off the pink. He can take his choice. So Terry now just gets his nose in front
18.
for the first time, 24-20.
$19.
Well, he's just overdone that one a little bit, gone a little bit too far on this pink. Means now that he's got to, again, stun round off the, probably the top and side cushions, just getting between that red and the corner pocket. Quite a tricky shot. There you see, came round a very small margin of error there actually to get
25.
that position, but absolutely perfect. He's played it.
$26. $32. $33.
Well, Terry very happy to make a frame-winning break here
39.
off the pink, not worrying at all about the black. All the time he's using up the reds.
40.
Now this time he's got to do a little more with the cue ball. 3 rather awkward reds left. Having a look at the double.
Yes, I can't see that there's any way that he can disturb these reds from this position, and I think that double may be the only possible way of continuing the break. Playing that red that is nearest the centre pocket, I would think try and double it in the other corner pocket, and that of course is after potting this blue. He's got to get in the right position, so he's got to be very accurate. Well, I was wrong, and
That's a beautiful shot.
it really is, yes. It was a marvellous shot. Tremendous amount of side used there. Disturbed 2 of the reds.
Break of 46.
$51.
And this last through the second red will put Terry in a fairly safe position. He's 38 the lead,
52.
and Kirk is requiring snookers.
Well, he must take the blue this time and make the frame absolutely certain. That now leaves Kirk Stevens
57.
needing 2 snookers to draw.
Wheels, 57.
And he'll be pleased with that. That'll get his tail up.
Certainly got the Welsh Dragons snorting a bit, because Griffiths didn't let Stevens score again, and the Welshman ran at the winner 87 points to 20 in just 19 minutes. So as we came to the second frame, Kirk Stevens breaking off, he in fact was the first Canadian to lose the opening frame of a match against his Welsh opponent today. Second frame then, Kirk Stevens at the table, and a very important frame for Griffiths to try and win.
One.
Well, Kirk certainly can't afford careless opening
6.
breaks in these short matches.
Seven.
Well, there are another 2 open reds there. Pot the black and just stun across the face of the pack, leaving a red into the corner pocket. And when he pots this red and onto the black, that leaves the other red
14.
free into the other corner pocket.
15.
I think he's got a choice now of either screwing back onto that red or taking the risk and smashing into the pack. Probably going into the pack.
$22.
looks like a red into the middle or the bottom pocket. However, he can get position on the black. Well, he's certainly in a very confident vein at the moment, playing very freely. Another red for the black here.
31.
Not quite such an easy angle to get back for the black off the open red into the middle here, but he can run through for the blue or the pink.
Yes, I think he's forced to take the red this time and send the cue ball through to the pink or blue.
Just noted a little plant there in the pack. And that's come out very nicely, I would say.
Well, just that little bit difficult, I think, Jack there. Forced to use the spider. And if he can get this and get onto the black, we could see a very big break here. This is a very important shot.
And he's played that very well indeed. He could have got through and stayed the other side of the black, but he's choose to a little stab on it and get the opposite side.
Well, I hate to suggest it, but I think we could see a tremendous break here because the reds are perfect. Really got them sorted out. Well, he was very close to that red there with his fingers. You saw that. But obviously, referee Len Ganley keeping a very careful eye.
Break of
60.
60.
61. $68. 69. $76.
Well, now Kirk's in a spot of bother now. He's needing snookers.
77.
Terry is playing with all the sweetness and poetry that he's capable of. He's really flowing here.
Well, a possible 143 on the table.
84.
Break standing at 84 with 59 left on the table. But this is a difficult shot. And he's forced into taking the other red to go for either the blue or the pink. But despite that, still in perfect position.
He's just wrong side of the blue there, X, so he's taking the pink to get back again. Oh, and that was a sweet little bump there to get the cue ball off the cushion. That's the sort of, well, luck isn't the right word, but that's just the little run that you need when you're playing well like this. Break of 92.
Well, now the possible break on the table is 141.
99. $107. 113.
Well, this has been an unusually quick break for Terry Griffiths, Jack. I think around about 7 minutes at the moment. And he certainly got on with it. It's been a marvellous break.
118. 122. 127.
'Terry, lovely break, but I would think more important was the fact that you won the match, wasn't it?
Oh yes, we were 2-1 down. It is very important to win tonight. 2 matches to 1, and well, if I'd have lost that, it would have been 3-1 down, and then it would have been really hard pressed. But it was very nice to do the break, but it is the point, you know, for the team that is more important. Yes.
How much does this go through your mind in a competition like this? How different is it from playing for yourself? Does this Wales, the red flag, come over your head a lot?
Yes, it does quite a lot, and also the crowd. There's a few Welshmen out there today, I think. They cheer us on a bit when we come out, which boosts us up. But yeah. I find it's very difficult to watch Doug and Ray play, and I get very, very nervous watching them play. The best I feel is when I go out there and play myself, because when I was sitting down watching this afternoon, I was in a terrible state, I'm afraid. My nerves are terrible watching.
You have noticed that you watch every match?
Oh yes, I sort of go in and out. I go upstairs and watch on the monitor, down in the players' room, and then I go in and see a bit live. I just can't sit still because it's very, very tense watching. Especially Doug, who's a very close friend of mine, and Ray as well. Of course, you know, we're all very friendly, but I'm very close to Doug, of course.
But you've got this record. Wales have never lost a match in this competition. I mean, defending champions. There's a lot hanging on this, isn't
well, I didn't know he hadn't lost a match till I looked at the programme today, but they give the record in there. But it's all about getting through to the semi-final, really. So if you can squeeze through, even on the deciding frame, 4-3, I won't mind at all, as long as we win. But we got Doug and Ray, of course, still got to win. It's going to be tough for them, but they're pretty tough players, so I think we may edge through now.
The break 1-2-7, I think it was all on, wasn't it, really?
Oh yeah, as soon as I seen the red coming, you know, I knew I'd do a sort of 1-2-7. They're all on the pocket, and no, as soon as I got to, I don't know what it was, 70 something, when I looked at it, I was safe. And then of course, you know, I sort of just relaxed a bit because obviously to win the frame is the main thing. But it's a shame I didn't get the pink and black to do a total clearance because it was all the 15 reds. But it's very nice anyway to do a break and win. It's a bit of a bonus, and of course there is a prize for the high break, so we can do with the money as well.
So you're making the bank balance already, but it must have given the rest of the lads a bit of a spur, mustn't
Well,
it?
it may change the colour of the bank balance a bit now, that's about all.
Counts his bank balance more than he does the snooker record books. Well, that was 2-all then in that state, with just 2 matches left to play in this 6-frame tie. Match number 5, Bill Werbinek, the big Canadian, versus Doug Mountjoy, the man that Terry Griffiths says he doesn't like to watch playing. Well, that match started off with Mountjoy in quite good form. He got the first sizable break. In fact, it was an opening break of 39. And after that, it was pretty much nip and tuck between the two of them. But Mountjoy always kept his head in front and ran out the winner 77-38 in 18 minutes. So Wales were at 1 frame up. Here in this 2nd frame, it's been pretty much cat and mouse all the way. 6 minutes of play gone. Mountjoy at the table.
Mountjoy then opening the scoring with the 11th visit to the table in this frame.
I don't think that he'll be too happy with that shot because he hasn't gone anywhere near far enough. This is a tricky blue into the centre pocket. Well, he's played it well. But I don't think that he's got onto another red. That was the problem with the shot, getting onto the next red from that blue. There is one that will go into the corner pocket, but he will have to use the half button. He won't be taking that sort of risk, so I think just play a safety shot.
Six points to nil after 7 minutes play in this 2nd frame of this best of 3 frames match. Today's tie consisting of 6 best of 3 frame matches with a 1 frame sudden death tie break if the matches should finish 3-all.
Well, that's a cracking safety shot there from Montjoy. Got Bill Werbeniuk here in real trouble. And that looks quite a reasonable shot there from Bill Werbeniuk. He's quite happy to have left that red across the top cushion, knowing full well that Montjoy can't get onto a colour from it. I don't think there's anything else that will go, and Montjoy may just decide to again send the cue ball back to safety and try and put Bill into more trouble and try and carve an opening.
Looking at a possible plant, which I think he would combine with a safety shot to bring the cue ball back behind the baulk line. An unwanted collision with the blue, but may not have done too much damage.
No, he didn't play that too well there, Clive, but as you say, I think he's got out of it pretty well. There is a red on, but it's a very difficult red and quite a risky one. So I think probably Montjoy will go for safety.
Again, Werbinek will be devoting considerable attention to making sure that his opponent won't be able to see a red which is over the top corner pocket, the pocket in the bottom left-hand corner of your picture. But he's made a proper mess of that, caught it much too thin. And although he's left the red that he was so anxious to cover, Mountjoy may well take one of the alternative reds for positional reasons. Quite easy to get on the pink from the red that he's studying now.
One.
Just studying there actually the red that would follow this pink, because the pink will be the only ball open at the top end of the table. So he's got to try and clear it. Just a little bit tricky to get on that pink at the moment. So he's got to try and just sort them out. In fact, there is a red into the centre pocket, I think, here, which would leave him nicely on the pink. He hasn't looked at it, but that would really open the pink up. Red into the centre there would clear that side of the table.
Eight.
Well, that now leaves that side of the table clear for any other reds that he should pot to get position on the pink. Nicely on the pink and left some open spaces there. That's always the type of thing that's going through a player's mind when he's just studying these positions.
Just this frame needed to give Wales a 3-2 lead in matches.
Twenty-one. Two.
Well, he would have liked to have gone a little bit further on that pink there. Meant that he had to take the cue ball towards the bulk end of the table. Quite an easy red there, but not absolutely sure that he can get position on the next colour. Had he been on the pink, absolutely perfect, he could have played onto a number of reds. Now this is quite an easy red, but he's not sure where the cue ball's going. And I don't think he'll complain at that. Just flicked another red, but he's nicely on the blue, and I think he's got the right angle to get back on one of the loose reds at the top end of the table. Well, obviously he was a little bit straight on that blue and decided to take the yellow, which he had the angle. And now in perfect position, and I shall be surprised if Mountjoy makes any mistakes in this frame. Well, there, held the spot, because that was where he wanted to put the cue ball to get on the next red. Pink had to go on the black spot.
46.
A little bit straighter on the blue than he would have liked, which means that he can only bring the cue ball straight back. Not quite the manoeuvrability that he would have had it been at more of an angle. But worked out absolutely perfectly, using the black both to stop the cue ball and to get the black into an open position.
52. 57. 58.
Just this black would leave Werbinek needing snookers. In fact, he needs them already.
Played to go the other side of the red there, just made contact on
65.
that red, but can still pot it. And played to leave position on the red into the other corner pocket.
66.
This has been a fine break by Mountjoy. When he started, the pink was only available into one pocket. Had to pick off the reds very precisely to keep his break going. And by going into the last two reds, has given himself a chance of rounding off this match with a century break, although that is a very thin cut indeed. None the easier since he's got to play it with the rest. Excellent pot, rather unlucky with his position. Very awkward pink, cutting it back. May try to take the cue ball onto the black to hold himself in position on the last red. But a very delicate and very difficult shot. Just missed the cannon on the black, but still got a chance at the red. What a shame, but a superb break of 85 by Mountjoy, assuring him of a 2-frames-to-0 win.
Which meant, of course, that Wales had started to claw the way back. Wales leading 3 matches to 2, 1 match left to play, and that will be Ray Reardon versus Clive Thorburn, 2 great champions of this game. Ray Reardon, 6 times champion, Clive Thorburn, the winner of the individual world championship in 1980. But now, as Terry Griffiths was saying, so much more resting on this, it's all about playing for your team. Well, we'll have that last match for you, and that will be following the midnight movie, which is Terror in a Texas Town. So after that, we shall renew our Battle of the Green Bays. And of course, from the Welsh point of view, and so many people from Wales out in the Hexagon Theatre tonight, it all rests on whether Ray Reardon can pull the match back for Wales and keep their 100% record here in the World Team Classic.